Hey, how you doing? Sorry, James Klein reference. This is Insanity. This is going to be James Rutherford's interview with Chris Hansen, part 2.
You might have kissed her.
Might have. I know I shouldn't.
And where's that going to lead once you start kissing her?
I wouldn't have let it. I'm honest with you right now. I know nobody watching's going to believe. I wouldn't have done anything else. She is a kid. I knew that when I was coming up here. I wasn't going to do anything. I'm an adult.
You're a teacher.
Yeah, I know.
That's a position of trust
mic
and
is
leadership
dropping
in
a
the
little
community. You know how kids think. You know it's a very emotionally charged time for them.
I'm not a teacher anymore.
Chris likes to say charged a lot.
I mean, you're equipped to take advantage of somebody that age should you choose to
Sexually
do so. And by
charged.
coming here today,
Emotionally charged.
it certainly appears as though
It's not a required word.
that's exactly what you were trying to do.
It's fluff.
Divorce or not,
I am.
computer problem or not. You know, the experts tell us that, okay, the guy may say, I'm not going to do it this time. Maybe not the next time. But sometime it's going to happen.
You're right. Can I talk to you off camera?
Grooming
I can't do that. I'm
101
sorry. What's the
Do you guys have any help for me?
There are a
taught
number
by Thomas Shin.
of ways to get help, and we're going to get into that in the story. We've got into it in some of the past stories.
Is there any way?
That's not true. I think that they have had some mental health professionals on the program, but that's never been the primary focus of TCAP, and they didn't really dig too far into modern psychological theory about how to cure the disease of pedophilia. That's not NBC's focus.
Self off of this thing.
We've made no decisions as to who's going to be in or out of the story. We're just getting started. So I can't.
If there's some way I do start getting help, I mean, my insurance covers therapy, and that's obviously what I need for.
So James is proposing that he uses his workplace health insurance to pay for therapy in lieu of getting sent to prison for the crime he just committed. Yeah, I don't think his school would appreciate that.
Obviously more than this issue, but
Or the health insurance company.
If I, even if it was something I just don't. My life's a wreck right now. On top of this, I don't want this to ruin the rest of my life.
It's ruined.
Well, I can tell you what. I can give you my card, and you can keep in touch, and we can.
Are the police here?
Here we go. So Chris is about to do something that's unprecedented in TCAP. He's going to give this guy his business card. Never seen this before with any other predator from the TCAP era. This is what made me really start to think that he had a soft spot for James here. Now, of course, Chris can just refuse to respond to any attempts to contact him via whatever's on his business card, whether it's his office number or his email address. He could just blow those guys off, but he's still putting his information out there. He's still giving this coveted information. I'm sure a lot of TCAPists would kill to have a Chris Hansen business card. And he's giving it to a criminal. So, I don't know. He's got to have some kind of way of feeling towards Jim to do this.
I'm going to be taken out of here in handcuffs right now?
I mean, that's not up to.
Can I have Stone Phillips's card too?
But that's my card. Sorry, Sprinkle. That's my card.
That's
Okay.
okay.
But if you want
Is
to
that
call and stay in
herringbone
contact,
I mean,
white?
even if maybe there's,
Eggshell?
I don't know, a way that without telling the world that I screwed up royally, that you could maybe do hide my identity. I'll even sit down with you and I can try to get help.
Sit down with you. So now James is proposing he has a sit-down, tell-all expose with Chris Hansen of NBC, as if James was some kind of reformed mob hitman who's going to reveal the inner workings of his former line of business. Nobody cares about what a pedo 6th grade teacher has to say, Jim.
all I
Request
can tell
denied.
you right now is because we're just getting started with this and we're in the middle of it.
I don't wanna-
I mean, all I'm saying is that you
Head in hands, he's just like, come on. Jim's desperate. Jim's begging.
call me. I'll be happy to talk to you as we continue to put the story together. And that's really all I can tell you at this point. Because I just don't know how it's all going to shape up. And I'm just being straight with you, that's all.
Head buried.
I can't promise you one thing or
I
another.
promise you a lot right now.
Well, I
I'm
understand
never,
that.
and I'm
a lot
gonna
of people
go.
promise.
I know, and
me
I,
a
you know
lot.
what? In the
Chris is like, a lot of people have promised me a lot of disturbing things. You should have seen Rolando Restacruz.
last one I saw, the guy was dumb enough that he came here. The next
Just a
damn day, he
rumor.
went and tried to do it again. I'm not that stupid. I don't know why I'm here. I need help. But you know what, you're right. I'm a teacher. And I don't do it because I'm some pervert. I love teaching. I love kids. It's the only thing I've ever loved. I don't know what the hell.
We know
I don't
what
know why
you
I'm here.
loved teaching kids, or what you
And you asked me
wanted
if
to
I
love
coach. Yeah, I
teaching
coach.
kids.
And not
Here comes
because I was
the
trying to
big camera
find a
guy.
damn date or get. It's because I like working with those people. I like teaching kids, and I don't know what I'm doing here. I know you've heard this. Hell, I've seen people sit here and say the same stuff.
But what does it say
It doesn't say much for me. I know.
about the fact that you were suspicious? You had seen our previous.
Camera guy's getting a tight shot.
Probably got a chuckle out of what happened to some of these guys.
Yeah, and honestly, I sat there and watched and thought, those guys are sick. Why would you do that?
DP told
And that
him
was
to get
what,
in
a
there.
month and a half ago?
Get a
And
close-up.
then here I am.
But what does it say about your issue? That you would watch the program,
I don't
pass
know.
judgment on the guys in that show,
I'm a
and then
hypocrite.
show up here yourself.
I'm obviously a hypocrite.
So being a hypocrite is not what Chris is getting at. He's getting at that your sexual compulsion and perversion is so intense to the point that you ignored all red flags and showed up. He's not trying to call you out on your hypocrisy, which he's within his right to do. He wants you to talk about your sickness. He doesn't want to talk about your lapse in ethical fair play.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hanson. I'm sorry, all you guys. I'm sorry if this does end up on air. I'm sorry.
Oh, what's going on there?
Everybody else that sees this,
This is media gold.
don't do it. I mean, that's why I said if there's any way I can get help, if I can show you I've gotten help, if I can show you that it's helping me.
I mean, all I can tell you is that, you let me know what's going on.
I mean,
I mean, that's my number, that's my email.
Chris is gesturing towards his cardigan, which James has still not picked up.
How much trouble am I in?
It's like, pick up that card. You know how many
Well,
people would
that's-
kill
that's
to
not
have
up
that
to me.
card?
But I mean, do
I
you
mean,
know?
but
I mean, I don't even know.
I mean, all I'm involved in is the story.
In Japan, that would be considered a
You
great
guys are all
insult
looking
for
at
you
camera,
not
because
to
they're all
immediately
involved in the
put
story,
away
because
that
the
card.
law enforcement
after
part is
being
something
offered
that's
it.
separate and that I don't
I
control.
mean, I know I've seen some of them that I could be wrong. I watched bits and pieces of it. We talked about it, and like I said, I thought, what the hell's wrong with these people?
Did you talk about it in school?
Yeah, we talked about it with the other teachers. A lot of us had seen it. And we thought, why would you do that? We all. And,
So these stories have been a topic of discussion at the school where you teach.
and then here I am.
And then here you are. What are you going to say to those other teachers?
I don't know. I have no idea. I can't. I don't know what I'll do. I don't want you to think I'm a monster. I'm not.
You are.
I'm really not. I don't think.
Monsters never think that they're monsters.
I didn't think I was anyway. Maybe
It's
I
like
am.
crazy people
you're
don't
here.
think they're crazy. They think they're misunderstood. As was told to me by
Drove 2 hours.
my psych major
You
friend.
know,
Plenty of time to.
I was this close, honestly, to just going to the Bright Pat Air Force
Bright
Museum.
Pat.
I was.
He was
this
going to go
close. I
hang
was
out
like,
with
you know,
Kevin
what am I
Westerbeck.
doing?
Westerbeck
Why-
was going
why-
to take
why
a
am I
break
doing
from his
this?
job in finance
I thought,
and
I'll go there.
come down from his
Or I saw some
office building and
tourist
grab a
something
beer
on
with
whatever
Rutherford.
state route I was on. I even thought, hell, while I'm here, I'll go to the place I bought my car here, believe it or not, and see if they've got the key they never gave me. I had so many things cross my mind that what I should be
Chevrolet
doing.
can recut a key for you at your local
And I-
dealership.
It's like I was thinking no, but I just did it anyway. I don't know why.
I mean, was it like some.
Can I drink this?
Yes, you may.
I can't. Get dry. Obviously.
You suggesting that you couldn't control yourself?
Apparently not.
The boom mic operator
I
on the
don't
right
know.
is doing some
And I'm not trying to
fiddling.
make excuses. I know it sounds like that. I don't.
Make sure there's
I
no
don't
boom in
know.
the shot.
I mean, I've always talked to people online, but
This is
and
NBC.
I've never done anything like this. I don't. You're right. It's like I couldn't control
do
myself.
things right or you're
I'm not trying to
fired.
make excuses. I don't know if I've just shut down this week. I am about to go through a divorce. I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't be here.
If it
that
wasn't for that.
If it wasn't for that, I can honestly say that because I wouldn't have, wanted to hurt my wife. And
That's an interesting claim. He's saying that he got sucked into this whole thing beyond what he normally would have because he had some motivation to hurt his wife who's divorcing him. So wanting to hurt her emotionally kind of allowed him to go further into the depths of his perverted fantasies, almost as a way to rebel against what she's doing to him with the divorce. I don't know. I guess it's plausible that if they were not getting a divorce, that he just wouldn't have had the time to engage in this act beyond just the fantasy stage that he normally does. It's not an excuse. It's just it's plausible.
ex-wife now. I think maybe I just said, "What the hell?" I've got. nothing
As a
else to
matter
do
of
right now, and
pure
obviously,
fact, it is.
I really didn't think that one through.
It's
'cause
possible.
I'm pretty sure this is going to cost me the rest of everything I know.
But, you look like a guy who's got it together.
It's not an
You
excuse.
could
Though.
go out and be social and
I am.
talk to women your age.
Chris kind of
Have
admires
I don't know why.
James. I think Chris admires this almost like a young, a hip, well-spoken guy in front of him. I think Hansen has a little bit more empathy for some of the younger men that get caught in this, especially if they put on an air of regret and wishing to repent for their actions. I think that pulls a little bit on Chris's heartstrings for whatever reason. Yeah.
I mean, was it the allure of,
I don't know.
I like when Chris says allure.
I really, honestly, and you're right.
of some forbidden
Could be.
fantasy? Is that
Must
what's
be
going
it.
on? I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I don't know,
And I'm not
Chris,
trying to be
Mr.
a hard
Hansen.
guy about it.
I know.
But I'm just trying to understand it, that's all.
I know. I don't. You know what? I wish I understood it. I don't know if it was like you said, just because it was forbidden, or I don't know. I wish I could tell you.
Because
Wish I
the
could
law
tell-
is
I wish
very
I could-
clear on a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, just the chat,
Probably wasn't a good idea.
But the chat.
illegal,
Is it really?
against the law.
Just to talk
Jim
to someone?
Roush.
I mean,
to,
with
to, to
with
solicit
sex.
for sex.
But I wasn't
using-
soliciting for
well,
sex.
I know,
I
but
really wasn't.
I'm not the prosecutor. I'm not the police. But I'm just saying, you know what you said. It was
Well, I
sexually
mean, will you turn
charged.
in all this stuff to him too?
Charged.
We're really gathering this for a story. Law enforcement does what law enforcement does. We do what we do.
So you just give him like that? And say,
I
showed up
personally,
and-
I personally
He's like, so Chris, are you gonna give him that? Are you a snitch? Chris Hansen, you're not a rat, are you?
don't. I mean, we use this for the story, and that the law enforcement part of it is something totally separate.
Like I said, my life is pretty much going to right now, and I hate the fact that I just made an even bigger mistake and probably just cost myself everything else.
It's not a
My
mistake.
friends, trust, my job.
It was a deliberate act. It's the opposite of a mistake.
I just want to get help, and I know that's probably not going to happen. But I wish I could, well, I wish I wouldn't have done something stupid like this, but I wish I could just find help.
Well, help is out there.
It's a vague statement by Chris. Help is out there. Very cryptic.
That's why I wish, and if I don't end up in jail, I hope I don't end up in jail. for this stupid mistake. I don't want to
Mistake.
throw away my life for something.
Have you ever gone to visit somebody who's underage before?
No.
Have you ever chatted with somebody who's underage before on the internet?
I have, and like I
Yeah.
said, I don't know if
Yeah,
it was
see, he just
the kind of
admitted
people
that
who are
he's
in the
done this
fantasy.
before.
So how
He's
many times do you
chatted
figure
with
you've done
people
that?
he thought was underage before, so now
I mean,
his
the internet's been
whole
around since I was.
persona is going to start to unravel. His
I
whole
guess as I grew up, I just I'm
distancing
chatting, things like that.
from what he's just been caught at. The whole idea of this is just a one-time thing triggered by my divorce that I fell into quicksand just this one time, but he's been sexting with perceived underage girls. He's gonna talk about it, but he's been doing it since he was underage himself. So the curtain is being pulled back
Probably more than I should have. I don't know.
by Chris's masterful.
No, I know you said it,
Interviewing
I saw it on the damn
skills.
show. Every one of them walked in, and I'm sorry, I'll watch my language. Every one of them walked in. I've never done this, and I'm sure some of them had. I really haven't. I don't know why I did it.
But you have chatted with underage
I have,
kids.
but never with the intention that I was really gonna do something. And then today it was like.
But these conversations were sexual in
Sometimes.
nature?
Yeah, sometimes. And that's one of the things, like I said, I think it was before these guys even came out. And I know it was actually. I've thought many
Pointing
times,
at the crew.
how do I stop this?
Pointing at the
How do I get,
production
and
crew,
I guess,
these guys. Don't call my
This is
crew
embarrassing.
these guys.
but I was always just too embarrassed to even go talk to a counselor or talk to a therapist and say, look, I think I've got a problem. Here's what I do. Why? How do I fix this? How do I help myself?
I mean, how often do you figure that you've talked to somebody who's underage?
This age, not. I mean, like I said, I was
13,
I was
14,
in
15.
I was in an adult room. I was talking to people that were 20, 25, and I was just clicking on random names, and just chatting with girls, guys. I mean, not sexually usually. And I clicked on hers, and we started talking, and I even think at first I was like, oh, I'm a little young, and I know I've been trying not to do that. I really have.
Boom. Chat
I
available.
thought, well, it's innocent enough. We're just chatting about stupid stuff, whatever, no big deal. I mean, I do the same thing at school.
But it almost appears, if you look at this, like there was a grooming process. Like you were trying to
I
get
remember
her
you
to-
said that, and I've examined. Do I do that? I mean, is that what I'm doing when I'm on here? I remember hearing that and thinking, is that me? Is that what I'm doing? I didn't think of it like that. I don't
Am I one?
know how many studies there have been on how, obviously, I'm something I didn't think I was.
But
I
as,
don't-
as a teacher, obviously you read the
I
stuff
know.
about
I
making
know.
sure kids don't fall prey to
And
stuff
I
like
don't.
this.
I don't, in
right?
school, I've never, ever crossed that line. Ever. I've never even considered it when I was with kids.
But I'm
And
not
here I
even,
am.
I'm not even
He
suggesting
never
that when I
considered
ask.
it with his own students because the likelihood of getting caught is that much greater. He knows all eyes are upon him as a male teacher, so that's, in my opinion, that's the only reason he hasn't tried to do this with one of his own students.
Suggesting is, as a teacher, you're exposed to the material that explains how this can happen, what to look for in your students to make sure they don't fall prey to this sort of thing, and here you are involved in this kind of activity.
Yeah, Chris is calling him out there, saying that as a teacher, you're taught about how to prevent child molestation, and it's fucking sick that you are privy to that information, and then you're here callously, despite having learned the damage that it can cause and the twisted techniques that predators use to perpetrate it.
I don't know how I'm going to tell anybody. I wish I didn't have to. Why am I here?
I mean, if you saw the stories and you're up on the material and you realize the danger, that must say something about the allure, at least for you, of this sort of
Allure.
activity. And again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just trying to get it.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about. Oh, Jesus, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know why I did it. Like I said, I've never, ever crossed a line like that with a person that I was a student ever. Not even
Because you
thought
would
about
have gotten caught.
it. I guess maybe it was just like online. It was like they weren't real.
It's all pretend.
That's kind of what it feels like, I think.
But it was real when you walked in that door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was real when you were
like I said,
standing
I'd
in that
seen-
doorway beckoning the
Have there been two of
13-year-old
these?
to you.
Or just one?
3.
3? I'd seen them. I knew that was a possibility. And I thought, why would I throw my life away for this? And I just kept driving. I don't know why. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell America. I wish I could tell everybody that I'm going to have to tell.
What do you say to other men your age who are now in chat rooms talking to girls?
Left boom mic
Unrated.
operator just
What do you
changed
say?
positions.
What would I
Went
say,
from
having been here?
the high mic
Yeah.
to the low mic position.
Why are you doing this? I and
He's
I
at low
can't
ready.
say I don't feel really hypocritical, but I would be like, look, you need to step back and figure out what your intentions are.
Wonder if those guys have
These things
terminology.
work it.
They're like, I went from position
And for
1 to
what?
position 2.
I mean, I'm
and then
serious.
all
I
mic
know
operators know.
That doesn't look good. Honestly, on the way up, I thought, you know what, I'll just hang out, watch a movie, and go home. I don't
It's a
want...
long way to drive to hang out and watch
You're
a
right,
movie.
and I know, like I said, it doesn't look good. It sounds like I'm just full of BS. But I thought, she's a kid. She's half my age. I'm not going to do something like that to her. And I know, everybody out there is going to think I'm full of it, but that's really the whole way up here, back and forth again. Why should I just turn around? Should I go somewhere else? Should I just go, pull over and cry because my life's crap right now, and then here I
Big
am.
mic, big camera operator just walked away.
But what would I say? I don't know. Why are you here? Have you really thought about this? Have you thought about the consequences for yourself?
Wow,
Have you thought
boom
about
mic.
the consequences?
Left
if
boom
you
mic
guys weren't
guy
here?
just took a knee too.
What could
He's
have
like, that's
happened?
position 3.
Even if it hadn't been this, even if
You'll
nothing
learn
had
all this
happened,
in your first year of
I could have messed her life
being
up.
an audio professional for NBC.
You know how vulnerable a 13-year-old
camera
kid
guy
can
back.
be. You've got him
And
in
like
your
I said,
phone.
I don't.
DP's like,
ever-
get back out there. We're not
I don't
done.
know if it was the internet. Like I said, I think something
Needs
about
more
it. Even when
B-roll.
I was that age, it was like it wasn't real. I'm talking to people.
This is the part we'll show in the commercial
it's-
with the voiceover.
It's people you don't know. You can chat about politics or cars or sports or obviously sex, but it's like it's not real. If they get mad or you get mad at them, you never have to see them again. And I don't know what. I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses. I don't know if it was just that this week pushed me over the edge, and that's why I crossed this line. I really never have just driven to meet a 13-year-old before. Why would I? But I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what made me do it.
Will you do me a favor? Will you keep me posted?
I will.
He's pointing at his
That's my
card
number right
Mr.
there.
Hanson, I'm
again.
serious. If
I appreciate that. That's
If-
why I asked you to do.
Again with the
and I know this
with
is not
the
up to you, it's
gesture
gonna be up to
towards
your
his
producers.
card.
I'm serious.
I'm,
gonna get
I'm
help.
starting to get really pissed off here.
I know you hear that probably from every single schmuck that walks through that door, that I'm going to get help. And like I said, I even saw that idiot go out and tried again the next day.
John
I
Kennelly.
don't know if that's even going to happen. I don't know if I should even go home and call my parents, call my lawyer, call
You couldn't hold John Kennelly's jock, so don't badmouth him, sir.
my principal and say, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm going to be able to. I've never thought about it with those kids. I never would have crossed that line with
John
any of them,
Kennelly
because
rules
they're
you.
real to me. I see their emotions. I
Operation
I
Iraqi
don't want
Freedom.
to throw that away, and I'm afraid I just did. But if there's any way that I can help you, and that if the police, the prosecutor,
Help you.
your bosses, and I know it's not up to you.
Hanson's like, what do you mean you know it's not up to me? Do you know who I am? I'm Chris fucking Hansen. I'm the shot caller. I don't answer to nobody. How dare
Like I
you?
said, even if you hide my identity, you can use my words if you spew my voice. I don't know. And then even do a follow-up.
hide my
interview me,
identity.
I'll start talking to someone. Hell, I'm sitting here doing.
Are you a
what's gonna
Mossad
be on national
assassin that we
television. I
need to
guess I can
hide
now
your
do it with
identity?
A therapist.
You wish you had done it before with a therapist
Oh.
instead of sitting here with me and always television cameras?
Oh yeah. And you know, I'm not kidding. I've thought about that more than once. I mean, I guess I could have been like the other guys and taken off running. But then I guess
Like Umbrella
I wouldn't
Guy.
have gotten to tell my side of why I'm here. You would have known who I was anyway, and it would have probably been worse. I have thought about. I'll be frank. I mean, since I was probably 20, 21, and of course then, you know, it was, you know, I'm 20, she's 17. I'm chatting to her, no big deal. It was like I kept getting older, and then
Kids
it's
get getting
cliche. They got younger, or they stayed the same age, and you know, 99.9% of the people I would even talk to on there are 19, 20, 21 at the youngest. But it was the other ones that I always thought, well, why am I chatting? And the fact that many a times I thought, I'm married, why am I chatting to women anyway? Maybe I should talk to somebody. And I always thought, I just can't put that out there in front of a
Couldn't admit it to
therapist.
yourself.
I couldn't admit it to myself, and I couldn't admit it to a stranger. And now here I am.
I guess I'll buy that. Like the humiliation of going to a mental health professional and having to disclose some of these perverted ideas and activities he engages in. You can understand that that would be pretty fucking embarrassing. So that is a limitation when it comes to psychological help. It's kind of the potential for judgment in the mind of the therapist, even if it's not outright spoken. It can, according to like Carl Jung, it can affect the treatment, the level of treatment that the counselor can provide, and just what the patient is willing to admit.
I just hope it's not too late for me.
So I will buy
I
that.
know America, if this makes it on, is going to think that, you know, I should never be within a mile of a kid again, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, no
From
shit.
the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry, and I've honestly, especially the parents of the kids that are probably going to see this that know me, I've never thought about it with one of them. Never would have done it.
He's trying to mitigate. What America thinks, what his students' parents think. He's deeply concerned about how this is all going to affect his reputation. Nothing good is going to come out of this, James. Your reputation is shot from the moment you're sitting here right now. So the strategy of smoothing things over as a precursor to before this segment is aired, it's not going to fly. You might as well just, I don't know. I mean, that's really up to you, but this manipulative tactic that you're doing is not going to work.
I mean, hell, nobody at school even knows except my principal and a couple of my close friends knows I'm
This
getting
camera guy
divorced.
here is making some weird gestures. I wonder what that's
What do you
about.
think they're going to say at school?
See if, yeah.
I think they'll be surprised.
So right boom mic
I'm
guy
not-
just kind of moved over a little bit, so
This
that
isn't
must have
me.
been a signal.
I don't know. I hope they're
Like
surprised.
you're clear for more.
I don't.
You're clear for more mic.
But I guess the
There's no
question
boom in
that
the
some
shot.
people might ask is this: if you
You're 6 inches out.
evolve to the point where you come here to meet a
You got some
13-year-old
play.
girl after this kind
Would've
of
gotten worse.
conversation, at what point do you suddenly become interested in kids?
Oh yeah, he's a cameraman too, so that's probably what he was signaling.
That's why I want help.
He's like, you're in the safe zone.
Maybe, I don't know. You've seen this a lot of times. What do I do now?
Well, I'm not in the business of giving
You're not a person that gives
psychiatric
advice.
advice, but I think if you were to inquire anywhere, just like you would if you were feeling you were ill in any other way, they would probably help you.
But what do I do with it? I mean, do I, like I said, do I go home and call my boss and say I can't come in anymore?
Those are things that I just can't.
I know.
I'm not in
Don't worry, the
position to give
DA will
advice.
take care of that
No,
for you.
I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you shedding light on this situation, because I think
You're never going to be allowed within
and again
1,000 yards of
I'm
that
serious
school
about this.
again.
That's my number and that's my email, and keep me posted as to how things are going, and I'm willing to have a continuing discussion with you in terms of what's going to be in the story or not in the story. We're just starting, so I can't.
I mean, when is this thing supposed to air and all that?
You know, those things are going to be decided once we get the
I'm gonna
story together.
TiVo
It's
it.
not done yet, so. I mean, if, like I said.
What do I
if you
search
wanna
on
keep
my
in touch with me,
TiVo
As I know that information.
so I can tape
I'm gonna share
myself?
with you. I'm not going to hide it from you, you know.
I know.
So, you know, I'm just being as straight up about it as I can.
I just don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, a lot of those guys came in here, and I know there was one that was like a rabbi, and there was, and a lot of those guys weren't in a position that they were with
David
kids.
K.
And
He
I
knows a
feel
lot
like
of the.
as
He
much
knows
as
a
I
lot
want
of the
my job,
TCAP predators.
and as embarrassing and
fan.
as hard as it's going to be
He's
to
a
tell
fan of
anyone,
Chris's
I don't know if I
work.
should go back and put myself back.
He's gonna frame that business card that Chris
But like
gave
I said,
him.
it's the only thing I've ever loved.
Sorry for the noise. My
teaching.
dog is
That's the only thing
walking
I've
in
ever
here.
been good at. And I hate to throw that all away for a stupid freaking mistake. And something that I really did go back and forth on so much.
It's tortured you.
It really did. I mean, I know
See
some
how
of those guys
Jim
were
kind
like,
of perked up there when Chris said it's tortured you. Any little bit of, hey, we want to understand you and go a little bit light on you. Jim is all over that. He perked right up.
yeah, gung ho, I'm in, and probably a lot of them had done it before. And I'm sure some of them hadn't. Some of them were probably in my boat that it was just like a mistake.
My dog's breathing into my microphone.
Well, Jim, I appreciate that.
I'm sorry. I mean, you tell that kid I'm sorry too. All right?
What kid?
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm sorry. Is that still on?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Chris is like, yeah.
I really
Red
am.
light means it's
If
on.
anybody that I know sees this, I am sorry. Don't think of me as a monster. I'm not. I made a mistake.
All right, well, do me a favor. Keep me posted, all right?
I mean, am I supposed to leave now, or should I?
Yeah, no, you're free to leave, yeah. I mean, if you want to take the water, you can take the water.
Sorry, guys.
You're forgiven. It's finally putting away Chris's card. You're forgiven because you've apologized so many times. All charges dropped.
I'll keep in touch. I know what I'm doing.
All right.
You can go to Disneyland. All the whole camera crew's like, that was a ringer. Worked our asses off for that one.
Sheriff's Department, stop, put your hands on your head. You have the right to remain silent, you understand? Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, you understand? You have the right to talk to a lawyer, have them present with you while you're being questioned, do you understand that?
That's a well-framed
You can
shot
afford
with
to hire a lawyer.
Jim's
one will be
Corvette in the
appointed to represent
background.
you before any questioning if you wish. Do you understand?
I wonder if they did an asset forfeiture on
You
it.
can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not to answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand?
It's being driven around by some rich real estate agent douchebag right now. Bought it at auction. Camera reflection in the car window. Cut that out. All right, guys, that was James Rutherford. I'll talk to you next time.